This is Dr. Chris's Radio Horror on YouTube, and we're back with another exciting review. This time, according to Cati, the best horror movie of 2020. Don't forget, we're only a month into this year. But we're going to talk about Gretel and Hansel, a end-of-the-month horror movie that came out late January. Of course, it also comes out on Thursday, kind of comes out on Friday. So I guess it's a February release more than a January release. Right, Cati?
Yeah, it came out January 31st. I think the posters say January 31st, but yes, I know it is only a month in to 2020. I know January felt like it was 75 days, but it was only 31. But I do say that Gretel and Hansel right now is my favorite horror film of 2020, directed by Osgood Perkins, who many will recall from directing The Black Coat's Daughter. Some may recall from his acting in Legally Blonde. Stars Sophia Lillis, Alice Krieg, Samuel Leakey, and Jessica DeGao. This is the Grimm's fairy tale, and Grimm may be the authors of the fairy tale, but this is definitely Grimm. It is a dark fairy tale, figuratively, actually, literally, and thematically. It begins with a tale within a tale about the tale of the beautiful child and her little pink hat. And then it goes into the actual characters of Gretel and Hansel. Gretel played Sophia Lillis, who many will recall as Beverly from It. She is, I think 13, 14 years old. Her father has either died, well, he's not in the picture.
Well,
I
she's
missed the fact
probably
that
got to be
he
about.
died. Well, yeah, 14, 15. She's young enough. She's not old enough to drive, but she's probably old enough in this time period to have kids. Or maybe not.
Oh,
But
yeah, we'll get to that
her,
part. Oh.
yeah, we'll get to that. Well, that comes up pretty early when you meet Gretel because she is sent to go get a job and she is interviewed. Oh, interviews. They're always fun. And this is a prime example. She's being interviewed by a gentleman who's basically in a robe in a giant room. Now, this is during medieval times, and it's very faint, and I will give credit to Osgood. So she's being interviewed. He's asking her some questions, and one of the first things he says to her, and I wrote this down, you will do well to limit the number of words that come out of your mouth. Wow, that's female empowerment right there from a man. Now, in the background, which is very faint, I have to give this to Osgood Perkins, I swear I can hear an orgy going on. You maybe think maybe that can't be going on because she's, Gretel's there to introduce you, be the housekeeper, do some laundry, maybe cook. And then the gentleman asks if she is pure. So, yeah, that's probably definitely an orgy going on behind closed doors. I have to give credit to this film because not only is it probably my first birth control film of the year. It is also the winner of Mother of the Year, all within about 5 minutes. Because when Gretel goes home, her mom promptly takes an axe. It's like, get the hell out, or I'm going to eat you myself. So she grabs her brother, goes in the woods, and I mean, everything about this film, the imagery, the music is on par with Blade Runner and Manhunter. And if you want to have some music from the 80s, those two are two films of this, of the horror genre that just can't be beat. Gretel and Hansel they run into Hunter. He gives them some advice. Hansel, go to the woodsman and do some wood, end up chopping some wood, and then Gretel, well, she'll have to succumb to the things of man. I'm like, good God, no wonder this is called Gretel and Hansel and not Hansel and Gretel, because guess what? This is a fairy tale that at this time, this is what girls had to go through. This is hell. I mean, every turn. And then they're basically starving once they leave the hunter. You've got all this amazing witchy imagery with these crazy people with black headdresses and then triangles. I mean, there's a scene where these two kids eat some mushrooms for sustenance, and turns out they're magic mushrooms. If I have access to those, this would be the film to watch with this. And in fact, this and the new Nicolas Cage film, Color Out of Space. These are the two films that it's like, if you're going to do some drugs, these are the two films to do them on. Alice Krieg comes into the picture because she ends up being the woman who lives in the house that the kids find in the woods. This beautiful triangle house. Again, the triangles. Now, There's some people who may complain about this. I mean, the inside of the house is amazing. There's some secret things going on, but you know what? This is all magic. Everything about this film is magic. I just go on and on about the imagery, about cinematography, the direction. I think is fantastic. Sophia Lillis is perfectly cast. Alice Creek, she's a gorgeous woman, and they uglified her up real good. The other thing about this film, though, because I'm not going to give away the ending, you've seen the fairy tale, you kind of know how it ends. Kudos to whoever. There's a character called the Enchantress of the Forest. I want that as a pin. I want that on a shirt. I want that on a bag. And I think that's going to be an amazing cosplay character at any con that I go to. Beware of gifts, kids. Think less, my pretty, and know more, and know that the big bad world is what it is. I say go see this film, see it in the theater, because you need to be a captive audience to really appreciate everything that Oz Perkins does. What did you think, Dr. Chris?
What did you think was Alice Krieg's most terrifying role in ugly makeup? This movie or the Borg Queen in Star Trek First Contact?
I would say this movie.
Okay. Which do you think is her more disturbing film? Seducing young children to eat them, or totally making out and banging her son in that Stephen King Cats movie?
Oh, Sleepwalkers? Sleepwalkers. I remember when that came out, and I was like, that's ew.
You know, the hunter comes along for that one scene just to, like, who's the guy he killed? It's just a random crazy person? So there's a character that just shows up to attack Hansel named the Click. Is that who that person was that the hunter kills? Nope, that's Beatrix Perkins. So I don't know who this person is. There's a there's a creature or a crazy person. Remember?
Yes, that's right. Because when I saw that, it kind of made me think of George Romero's Night of the Living Dead. Because the way he just sort of like looks up, that's right, yes, yes, yes. I know exactly what that scene. Yeah, I don't know. No, it wasn't clicky, because Beatrice Perkins is Oz Perkins' daughter. That was kind of crazy. Also, these kids just go inside houses like it's no big deal, and you know, when the bad stuff happens, like, well, I don't know what you're expecting. If someone's just walking inside your house and you end up sleeping, that's kind of get what you get, kids. I totally forgot about that part.
By the way, without looking it up on the internet, how old is Sophia Lillis going to be on February 13th next week?
Oh, that would be 18.
Yep,
all right.
She was 18 years old, so she was 17 filming this movie. She still looks like she's definitely going to keep getting cast as like 12-year-old, 13-year-old girls, without a shadow of a doubt, because she's got this youthful look of hers that is going to be eaten up by Hollywood until she's well into her 30s.
Well, and anything that movie that needs a young Jessica Chastain and Amy Adams, she's going to be the go-to girl, not only because of the resemblance, but because if you need to have someone that has the acting caliber, or at least from what I can see, the chops with those two Oscar nominees, it's going to be her. I think it's only a matter of time before she's in a role and she's going to get a nomination herself. I just think she's a star on the rise, and I look forward to seeing whatever she's going to be in.
Yeah, and she doesn't have a lot of credits to her name, which is, you know, she's really starting out her career. And it took me a few moments to realize it was her because of that really short haircut, which is kind of unusual for that type of time period. Also, one of the things I got to point out about this film is the special effects in it. I thought were amazing, and it definitely, you're right, it gave you that absolute creep factor. And you need to, if you want to do some drugs, people of Massachusetts, you know what I'm talking about, weed. Before watching this movie, I highly recommend it, because holy crap, there were some trippy things in that movie. When the pipe is pouring out what looks like blood into that room, and it forms into the gown of the younger witch, a younger Hulda, played by Jessica DeGao, who I didn't recognize. Jessica DeGao, who I didn't recognize until the very end of the movie. She was Mina on the Dracula TV series from 2013 with John Rhys Meyers, which I just got done covering on my podcast, the Dead TV podcast. So I was like smitten being able to see her again, because I thought she was a pretty decent Mina. She was a very headstrong, fiercely independent, I need no man, I need no Jonathan Harker, but take me Dracula, of course, smart woman on that show, which was fantastic for the Mina character. So it was great to see her doing something again. She was on The Crown, which I don't ever watch, but I thought she was just as creepy as Alice Krieg's character, version of her character in this movie. I highly recommend this movie, folks. Go see it. Go see it at Blackstone Cinema Deluxe. Go see it at AMC in Framingham if you can. Katie, is there a movie theater near you that you could recommend?
Landmark, ArcLight, AMC, any of the AMCs, but definitely see this in a theater. You need to be a captive audience to really appreciate this film. And like I said, it's my right now for January as far as a wide release film, my favorite horror film of 2020.
Cool. Thank you, everybody. Check out the rest of the videos here on the Radio Horror YouTube channel. Check out Katie on the Blonde in Front website as well as her Facebook page, and we'll be back with another exciting film review here on the Radio Horror YouTube channel.